All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. Again, we're taping live on Thursday night. The legislative session concluded at 6 p.m., and we've heard from members of the local delegation throughout this first hour of Bayou Time. Senator Narby Chabert calling in, just so you're all aware, in case you want to pull it on the website at htv10.tv or watch the replay. We've heard from Senator Narby Chabert, Representative Gordon Dove, Representative Joe Harrison, Representative Dee Richard, and last night we heard from Senator Butch Gautreaux, who basically voiced his concern and opinion regarding the governor, but also he's termed out. And we also heard from Representative Chuck Gisclair last night as well. We thank them all for calling in, but now we want to take your phone calls for a little time. Just, your thoughts on the overall legislative session and what you've thought from the members of the local delegation, if you will, and we'll go to the calls now. Thank you for holding patiently throughout the program. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Good afternoon, Jason.
Hi, good afternoon.
All right, first of all, I'm saying you got a nice tie like your tie tonight.
All right, thank you.
And second of all, I want to know how my brother, Mr. Jimmy, is doing, your daddy.
Hey, he's doing excellent. He made he's back at the office, coming in a little bit and, catching up on some of his work as an attorney with his clients now, and he's making a wonderful recovery, and we thank everyone for their thoughts and prayers and their concerns, all across, even those who have called in here. We appreciate all of that. Thank you.
Well, that's real great, man. I'm going to be glad when I see him on the set again. Glad to hear you doing fine.
Won't be long.
Yeah, and Jason, the young fella, Narby Chabert, I think he's doing a real good job over there for y'all, man. Looks like he's trying real hard to do a good job. He's doing a real good job. One thing I want to mention, Jason, they're talking about the gas and all is going down, but I want to talk about the groceries tonight. The groceries never did go down. They go all the time going up. A while back on the news, they say the groceries going to go up because all the snow and all they have out north. I understand that because they say they kill a lot of crop. But, Jason, you walk in the supermarket, you don't see no shortage nowhere. Everything's always full to the top. Where the shortages are at? That's what they just using this for an excuse to make the price go up. Why they no shelf empty? You don't see no vegetable empty. They're all full to capacity always. Where the shortages are at?
Okay.
That's what I like to know. Any supermarket, they always full to the top.
Okay.
I believe they got a scam going on. Some kind of scam just to keep the price rising. Because if they would have a shortage, you'd be hard, finding stuff going off the shelf. You have stuff, missing. You wouldn't have too much vegetables in the box, everything like that. But everything's always full there, bro.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying, huh?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too. Let's go down to the next caller. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time. Thank you for holding.
Jumping Jason.
Hey, how you doing, Ricky?
Not too much, man. This is what the great Tricky Ricky's got to say about everybody in their cohesive unit working.
All right.
I think it's about time these representatives get together as a cohesive unit, because look what they got done.
Mm-hmm.
They actually accomplished a good bit, and they actually admitted that they got a whole lot of accomplishment more to go. So if they come up with a game plan as a cohesive unit, as a working team, just think what they can do for the coastal states and the surrounding areas and their kids and your kids. Just think, next time the ball comes to bat, what they can do as a cohesive unit. And I've been screaming about being a cohesive unit till frickin' the cows come home.
Yeah.
And it's finally starting to happen with our political officials.
Yeah.
Why? Because the people that watch HTV are kind of following, I ain't gonna say they follow my lead, but they want to know too, just as well as Tricky Ricky. He wants to know where his dime's going.
Right. Well, I think, speaking about the issue of cohesive units, I think, you heard that from several of the members of the local delegation that called in, talking about how they work together. And, Senator Chabert, who is always sort of poignant with what he has to say. You know, well, you know, a lot of people, I guess, may like that about him, that he doesn't hide the ball on it, if you will. But he was saying, you know, at some point in time, we get on TV and we talk and we say, you know, we're all friends, but then behind the door in the past, there have been some cat fights that went on, but he didn't see that much go on this session, and that was something that he approved of, as I know, I guess you're approving of as well. They work together.
I've been screaming that before it was even said, before he was even done. And then all of a sudden they start getting together as a cohesive unit and things start getting done. What does that tell you, Jace?
All right.
I mean, it works, don't it? And now I'm expecting a whole lot more now that they understand what I'm talking about and have been screaming about. But I don't know how long. It's just common sense. But if they follow that lead, they're going to have a future for your kids' kids, their kids, and they will leave a lasting mark in their name as far as the coastal states of Louisiana and the surrounding Tri-Parish area.
Right.
Now, I want to give me a shout-out to Fast Fuji and Get Over Noya. And Martin, we need to put up that chalkboard, my boy. You promised me, you promised the people. And now that we're going to have some new people in office, time to strike is now.
Thank you for the call.
It's school, buddy.
All right, we appreciate the call as always, Ricky. Let's go down to the next call. We're going to try to get as many of you in as we can. Thank you for calling. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Hey, Jason.
Hi.
Look, I just wanted to call to let you know y'all coming in on Channel 8.
You know, somebody had called and told us that, but that's nothing that we can control. That's a particular cable company. Yeah, I don't think that's anything we can control at this point in time.
Yeah, I just didn't know if y'all knew about it. I'm watching it on 8. So.
Okay. Are we also on 10 where you're watching? Or?
Correct.
Okay.
On 10 and it's on 8.
Wow, on 2 channels. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing good. You advertised.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, Jason.
All right. We appreciate it. All right. And you can also catch us online as well, hdv10.tv. All right. Let's go down to the next caller. Hello. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Doing okay. Thank you for calling.
Jason, this has nothing to do with what you was talking about. I'm Angel. I was in the courtroom at one time, and it was a domestic violence case about strangulation. I don't know if you remember me or not.
Okay. Well, I've had a lot of cases that I've handled over the years.
Okay. Well, anyway, I had talked you into like canceling it out. And you really didn't want to. Mm-hmm. And I learned a valuable lesson from that.
Okay.
You were right. Once they do it, they'll always do it. And I just want to let you know that for future cases that you may have, when they try to talk you out of it, don't listen to them.
Well,
they're really hurting themselves.
Well, and I appreciate you mentioning that because, as prosecutors, it's hard for us to see victims who, for whatever reason, as you know, want to dismiss charges, and it makes it very difficult on us. And my boss, Mr. Waits, understands what we go through, right. And he tries to get us to talk to the victims, but he ultimately understands that we can't win a case and prosecute it if we go forward without support of the victim, specifically in a case like that. And so we try to do what's best, for the public and for the victim, and I'm sorry if it ended up happening to you again. I hate to say I told you so, but hopefully we can help you out in the future and make sure that individual gets brought to justice.
I sure appreciate everything that you did.
Well, thank you very much.
God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, I appreciate that call. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time.
Yes, I'm calling to see what the ingredients is to make crawfish etouffee.
Etouffee, you're going to have to wait and check out the Canada's cooking segment for that. I'm not much of a chef, my man.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time.
Good evening, Jason.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to Butch Go-Through last night.
Okay.
And I decided that I would listen to the program again today, so I watched it twice, early in the morning and late morning. And it sounds to me like one of the things that he was complaining about that I didn't really pay attention, I guess, well enough yesterday when I heard the live program, was some negotiation of a contract, and it seems like they wanted a particular group of people to have the contract, and they got together, and it seems like they drafted the contract, and if the person that they want to get the contract is helping draft the contract, to me that sounds like a violation. I don't think this is unethical. I think this might be a crime.
I disagree only because I'm familiar with those types of laws, because of the type of legal work I sometimes do. Different contracts are required to be publicly bid. Certain contracts are not, if they're, for instance, professional services or whatever. Sometimes it's not necessary under state law to actually have to bid out certain things. So sometimes you have a government entity or a political subdivision, a public body, if you will, that submits requests for proposals sometimes just to see if they get the right price. Sometimes they're not even required to do that. So although it may seem unethical, that may be one thing, whether or not it's illegal, I don't think that it would be illegal or a crime or even a violation of any law.
Well, it sounds like two people were competing for the services.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a little bit something about non-competitive contracts and sole source justifications, and whether or not you can go out on a contract without a bid. And I think this might be one of these cases. So you have you have legal information to be able to assert that there's nothing unethical about this particular case that Butch Gautreaux is coming forward with?
No, not as the way you phrased it. Just in general terms, from what I was able to hear and what was discussed, I don't think that was an issue that was required to be publicly bid, if you will. It didn't seem like anything illegal occurred. Now, whether it may stink a little bit is a different issue.
So so you going on appearance. In other words, you're not talking contract law with certainty.
Well, obviously we'd have to know all of the facts and all of the circumstances. I'm not the attorney that represents the governor in that instance. But I don't think anything from what I was able to hear on TV, I don't think anything illegal has occurred. That's just one man's opinion.
Yeah. So we really don't know at this point.
Well, I believe I know. You may think you know one thing, and we may disagree. That's a different issue.
Well, then I guess if it's breaking the law, maybe Butch Gautreaux needs to go to the state attorney general's office.
Well, that's certainly right. Yes, sir. I would agree.
I was a little confused by Gordon Dove's comment. He seems to be pleased with the TOPS program being funded.
Mm-hmm.
But yet he voted against the bill that was supposed to fund it. It's a little ambiguous to me. It's kind of hard to figure out how he's so supportive and pleased that something has passed that he voted against.
Well, maybe there were other things in the bill that he was against at that point in time. I don't know. You'd have to ask him that question. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah. And today I think the president talked about opening up the reserves. The price of gas is down to $91 a barrel, and they say that once the strategic oil reserves open up, they expect that the price of gas could come down 50 cents or more within 2 or 3 weeks. So maybe we'll get a little relief on the way.
Well, I hope so. Thank you for the call, as always.
You have a good night, Jason.
All right, you too.
I do.
All right, with that, we should, Jason, do we need to take a break? Yep. Actually, I'm sorry. Before we take a break, we do need to run. With the legislative session coming to an end at 6 p.m., we want to run something that occurred, recently prior to its conclusion, and members of the House of Representatives, prior to the session being closed earlier, represented, I forget who actually presented it, but they had honored Mr. Easton DeHart for his service in the area. He was also known as the Gator Man. And, they did something a little special on the floor there, and we'd like to roll that in at this moment.
On personal privilege. Members, if you will.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a great honor today that we have Mr. Troy Landry here, and followed up by another alligator hunter from our area that was well known in Houma, Mr. Easton DeHart. Mr. Easton was a very generous man. He's a man who throughout our community worked in the schools to show the children what was going on with our natural habitats that we had for our animals, and in particular our alligators. He was one who hunted alligators most of his life. He has a great family. This is the DeHart family, his wife Dita, his daughter Mona, and all of their children and grandchildren are here today. He tragically passed away in a marsh fire just over a year ago, and is sadly missed by both his family, his friends, and our community. But he's been a great inspiration to the people of our area, and we're very proud that Troy is here, because we're going to read the proclamation and let Troy give the proclamation to his wife from one alligator man to another. So, Mr. Speaker.
To express the sincere and heartfelt condolence of the legislature upon the death of Easton DeHart, it is with deep regret and profound sorrow that members of the legislature learned of the death of Easton DeHart on Wednesday, March 3, 2010, at the age of 76. Mr. DeHart was a native of Delars, Louisiana, and a resident of Houma. He was known as the Alligator Man since he caught his first nuisance gator in March of 2001. Spent most of his life working construction, though he hunted alligators all his life. He was licensed by the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries as an alligator trapper. He was known in Terrebonne Parish as a colorful and capable remover of nuisance alligators. He worked all hours of the night and day, hauling alligators out of the yards of the community and area. He was an avid outdoorsman up to the day of his death. He's survived by his wife, Dita Lacoste DeHart, and 6 children. Profoundly feel his absence. With the death of Easton DeHart, Louisiana has lost a valuable and unique citizen. Therefore, be it resolved, the legislature does hereby express its sincere and heartfelt condolences upon the death of Easton DeHart, and does hereby record for posterity his extraordinary gifts and talents.
The proclamation that was issued to the Easton DeHart family, who certainly will be missed and was a well-known member of our community, and that was a nice gesture for them to do on the floor there in the House of Representatives. What we need to do now is we need to take a break. When we return, we will talk about a very important event coming up, and it's also an awareness event as well. So, I ask that you stick around, to hear a little bit about this run and walk, which is coming up. It's the Raymond Berg Lindsay Fontenot Memorial Run and Walk. We'll have several guests on the set of Bayou Time who will join us. They'll tell us a little bit about Raymond and Lindsay and what the run and walk is all about. And we also have Miss Alicia Toops here as well, who will discuss a little bit about ADAC and what services it provides in the area. So a very important topic coming up right after the break. Stay with us. We have more for you tonight on Bayou Time.